Today is 30th December 2022, last trading day of this year. Yesterday was Thursday, the weekly expiry of Nifty and Bank Nifty, and what a superb gift it gave to us, right? How many of you trade expiry over here? I hope a lot of you do it. So the year ended with a super rally in both the indices. What we had predicted, exactly that happened. I'm not saying over here that, see, I told you so, but the derivative data was so bang on, right? Anybody who knows how to see the derivative data could have, seen it that, there was call writing above, all right, the market did correct, but as we had said, at 18,000 levels, there was very nice support. There was lot of, open interest build up at 18,000 support, and the market took support over there and gave a nice bounce. I won't call it a rally. The market can still, come down and give some correction, but a bounce indeed was there. We cannot call it a pullback also. It's just a bounce. All right, whether it is a pullback, rally, whatever, that time will tell us. Now I'll take you to the levels that Bank Nifty and Nifty have right now according to technical data and derivative data. So the Nifty PCR, put call ratio, is 0.69. That means you guys will be able to, guess it right now after, after learning so much in these weeks, that 0.69 PCR means it's a bearish sign. It is a bearish sign, not a bullish sign at all in Nifty. All right, and if I take you to the option chain analysis, we get somewhat same picture. All right, if you can share my screen, it will be great. So over here, 18,000 is the level where there is highest open interest on the put side. So 18,000 level still remains a good support. All right, we cannot call Nifty to be bearish or in a what do you say, multi-legged correction if 18,000 supports. Okay, so 18,000 is a very good support. On the higher side, if you see the call, 18,500 has massive open interest, massive open interest. It is a very strong resistance, 18,500. This level, around this level, all right. Super massive open interest over here. These levels are our nice support. These levels, 18,000 levels, just below the low of this candle. So you need to watch out these levels. These match with these technical levels. Resistance and support is never a straight line. It's a zone, all right. So this is the zone of support. This according to technical levels and the derivative data, and 18,500, this is the zone according to derivative data and technical data as well, a strong resistance over here. Right, now let us come to Bank Nifty. In Bank Nifty, Bank Nifty has a very interesting scenario. I'll just show it to you. Bank Nifty PCR is 0.74, a little higher than your Nifty levels, and the Bank Nifty has closed at around 43,000 levels. If you see 42,986, around 43,000 levels, and if you see at 43,000, there is massive open interest on the put side as well as on the call side. I'll just zoom out on the call side as well. Very nice open interest. So 43,000 level is a very nice level for Bank Nifty. Bank Nifty has closed at around 43,000 levels. All right, so above 43,000 levels, Bank Nifty is a little bullish, and below these levels, it is a little bearish. So very clear-cut signal in Bank Nifty. No confusion over here, right? And 43,500 has a massive resistance in Bank Nifty. Very nice resistance if you see over here. And let's go to the technical charts. If you see over here, this is where Bank Nifty has closed. So I believe the low of this candle, if it is not broken, then you can say that Bank Nifty can rally till it's an all-time high. Otherwise, if it breaks down, then till here. This is what technicals show on Bank Nifty, right? So watch out for the 43,000 levels, and 43,500 on the upside resistance will be there. Very clear cut, absolutely clear cut on Bank Nifty. Now very important, Bank Nifty is a little bullish than Nifty. The reason being are PSU banks. Alright, I'll just show you. I think weekly chart will be a better one. PSU banks, you see over here, like I don't have to say anything. Look at this chart. All right. So PSU banks have given a major. This is not a bounce. This is more than a bounce, right? So PSU banks have given a good weekly rally. All right. So that is why Bank Nifty is better, and the major sectors of Nifty have not moved a lot. CNX IT, Nifty IT is one such sector which is you see is lackluster. All right, so Bank Nifty seems to be in a hurry to move till its all-time high, as the data suggests, a little more bullish than Nifty. One interesting script I would suggest you is Nestle India. You see over here, I'll show you a daily chart for Nestle India. All right, so it is at a very nice multi-level support over here. This area, this was earlier resistance. It broke out, now it is acting as a support. This is called change of polarity. It has worked out once, twice, thrice. Again, Nestle India is over here. So you need to look at these levels in Nestle India. Bounce from here can take it higher. Short trade is possible over here. A breakdown of these levels can bring it down. So it is at a multi-level support. This is a nice resistance. Change of polarity played over here. It is back again at these levels. I try to play the bounce trade over here, all right, at these levels. So Monday first hour, have a look at Nestle India. If it shows some positive signs, it can be a bounce trade, a small bounce. A major rally will come or not, that is not possible to say, but you can take a quick bounce trade on Monday in Nestle India. Check it out. If not trading, at least have a look at it. You'll learn something from it. All right. So this is what I had, short and crisp. I know this is 30th Friday. You won't be interested a lot about markets. You shouldn't be, because there has to be a balance in life. Spend time with some family and friends. Is the year end, and a happy new year to all of you, to you, your families, your loved ones, and a toast to all the accomplishments of the last year. And let's look at the new year with positive mind, and we have bright prospects in new year. So wish you a happy new year to everybody. And Vasant will now join in, and he'll take us through the macro picture. Some super analysis awaiting from Vasant.
Thank you so much, sir.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. So before I start, well, I saw someone commenting कि volume low है. So give me a quick hi in the chat पहले तो. Look, we are coming here on 30th December. कुछ plans छोड़ के आ रहे हैं. So just give us a hi. Hi तो बोल ही सकते हो. And also let me know if volume is okay. So just give me a hi and tell me the volume is okay in the chat. And by the time you do that, well, I'll list down some of the things that I want to talk about. So the first thing I want to look at is growth. Was there real growth in 2022? क्या growth हुआ है? People are talking about growth and how this is going to affect everything. So was there any kind of a growth that happened in 2022? Yeah. Yeah, I want more of you to give me a hi in the chat. I can see how many of you guys are watching. You can also see. So I want all of you guys to give me a hi in the chat. Let me know a hi. So we'll look at growth and how this has affected various parameters. One is probably GDP that we look at. The other one is probably inflation. You'll look. Also, the key parameter that most people miss out on. People look at GDP or inflation as it is, like a standalone parameter, which is not at all correct in an economic term. The third parameter that people miss out is employment. You can look at all these three together and you'll get the bigger picture. Yeah, you can't miss out on one parameter and take a look at it as a sole parameter. That will not give you the right picture. So we'll take a look at what happened related to these three. So sorry, I have a little cough and a cold, so you might hear coughs in between, you might hear me sneezing in between. So I'm very sorry for that in advance. It might happen in between. But yeah, the second thing I want to look at is what kind of sectors did well. So we'll look at sectors and sectoral return, maybe market return itself. So who has done well? So here percentage mein dekhenge, so I'm just writing percentage there. So we'll see which sectors did well, what's happening new in some sectors. And finally, the third thing I want to take a look at, because I think that's playing a key role around the world like right now, is the supply chain. Yeah, people think supply chain to kya hi hai, you will just transport goods from here to there, you'll require trucks, you'll require maybe ships, but that's not the only thing that matters in the supply chain, right? How supply chain is going to affect. So what happened? So I'll just write what happened and future. So future kya hai? Is the supply chain better now? I think these were the three biggest things that we need to look at. Yeah. So instead of going and looking at it week by week, well, I want to take a look at the entire year. Now, I don't know how what I say right now is going to make me look or make this entire company look, but look, I'm going to be extremely honest here, right? If I would have invested my money and if I would have not invested anything during the last whole year, in the 1 year that went by, exactly 1 year before right now, whatever happened and coming back to today, in the last entire year, you know how much percentage return I made? Well, I made 0% returns. My portfolio did not give me a single rupee of return back. Wherever it started in the last December, it is now at the same place. But just because I added more money in 2022 at times where you were supposed to add more money, well, I made some money in 2022. But if I would have just left my portfolio, I made zero money. Now, how did that happen? Why did that happen? Well, let's check out the valuations first. So one of the key reasons for that to happen was the market itself. Yeah. So what we'll do is we'll open up the valuation of Nifty itself. So I have a small chart to show you, and that chart is worth 1,000 words. So let's quickly go, let the chart open. Let's share my screen now. Yeah. The chart is opening up here. Yeah, we go down here. You can see the chart. The blue color line is the Nifty PE value. It's the Nifty PE ratio. Yeah. And the red color line is Nifty itself. So you can see what happened with the PE ratio. The PE ratio last time, पिछले साल भी it was at 18,500 levels. This year is also, it's not exactly 18,500, but came close to that. So we can assume it's at the same levels almost, right? But last year, to achieve this level, Nifty had an abnormal PE of 42. Yeah. Now Nifty PE is at somewhat of a median PE at 21, 22. What does this tell you fundamentally, right? It's super simple. The prices are the same, but the PE value has fallen. So something has changed in the PE value, right? So what has changed? Let me know that in the comments. If the PE is the same, if the price is the same, but the PE value has changed, what has really changed? Yeah, give me the exact parameter that's changed in the chat. So I'll wait for maybe 30 seconds for you guys to answer that, and then I'll answer the question myself as well. But basically, the entire story is that Nifty last year same price pe sustainable nahi tha. But this year at this price, it is now sustainable. Now 18,000 is something that can be sustained, that is that makes rational sense, that makes business sense. Now, why does it make sense? Yes, I've got the answer. People have written earnings in the chat, so that is the correct answer. So let's quickly come to the top cam. I'll use some part of the top cam on the right side. Yeah. So basically, I'll draw a line here. I hope this is visible, right? This part is visible? Yeah, perfect. So PE has two components. The price, this is of course any price of any security, and you have the EPS, which is earnings, yeah, earning per share. So I'll just write it short as earnings. Now, if price has not changed, price has remained the same, right? What has changed? Well, the EPS has shot up. That means the Nifty earnings are going up and up and up. So it's a very good thing that's happened. And because of the earnings going up, it has now sustained at the same price levels. Of course, during the entire year, we had a lot of volatility, a lot of things happened, but that was the great thing about this year. This year actually taught us how the markets worked. Because of what happened in the last 2 years, a lot of people had come with a mindset that markets to paisa banati hai and every year it will keep you giving, money. But that broke, that shattered, your dream was shattered during this year, and that is good that it happened because now you understand how the markets work. And because of this experience, well, you will be able to create more wealth in the future. So whatever happened this year, well, overall it was good for us as a mindset type of view. So this is what happened with Nifty. Now, going forward, well, if Nifty goes up because of the PE value, because of the earnings, what is the key thing that has to go up? Very simply, it has to be earnings all over again. If the earnings keep shooting up again and again and again, well, you will see the price will also start increasing because the median PE, ye whole formula, yeah, the median PE has to remain between 20 to 25, right? So to keep it there, the earnings have to keep going up if the price has to go up. If the earnings don't go up, well, it's difficult for the price to go up. So that is the key thing that we want to look out for. So look out for the quarterly result that's going to come out. Look out for all the earnings that the Nifty 50 companies are posting. Yeah, that's point number one. Now with this, well, let's move on to some macros. Let's start with growth. So I'll quickly erase this. This will be my explanation board. So I can explain some points right here. Yeah. So the first thing is the growth that happened, right? And we'll take GDP here first. So the first thing that we looked at is GDP. Now during this year, all the countries posted abnormal GDP growth. Yeah? US posted something like a 4 to 6% growth every quarter. UK posted like a 2 to 3% growth every quarter. Japan, surprisingly, yeah, Japan is not a country that grows too much. Japan posted like a 2 to 3% growth every quarter. And then we have the developing countries, and the king of them was India. India posted somewhere 10 to 15% growth every quarter. So these are all quarterly numbers, right? Now, is this a high earning to have? Is this a good amount of earnings to have, or this is a good growth in GDP? Well, the answer, if you see all this, it looks like a yes. But actually, it's a big no. There was no growth. Why am I saying that there was no growth? Well, there was something called the base effect which took place this year. What is the base effect that happened? So I'll just quickly write base effect here. Base effect happened this year. Basically what happened in 2020 and 2021 first half, the GDP actually went down. Yeah, GDP went from 3 trillion to maybe let's say 2.8 trillion. Yeah, that's a minus of about $200 billion. So the GDP went down in 2020. Now, the GDP went down, but did the population go down? Did the working people or the demographics, did that go down? Did demand go down? No, right? In India, these three things haven't gone down. But the GDP itself went down because of the corporate earnings, because of the sales and all those things that were shut down during the lockdown. So as soon as the lockdowns and everything opened in, let's say, 2021 and 2022, what happened was that we had seen growth previously on $3 trillion. So पहले हम 3 trillion पे देखते थे 5% गया, 6% गया, something like that, right? Now the growth is the same. We have grown, let's say, by $300 billion or $350 billion only. But if we remove the percentage on this number now, yeah, comparing it to year on year, so this becomes an year on year comparison, right? On this number, we get the percentage above 10%. So this is the base effect that has happened. But the real question is, have we really grown in 2022? Well, and the answer, surprisingly for India, is yes. If you account for base effect and you account for all the real growth and you account for inflation as well, India has roughly grown from 4 to 6% in the last year. Now compared to this, well, US had a negative 4% growth and UK had a negative 3% growth. Yeah, Japan had a whopping negative 3%. For Japan, negative 3% is very high. So they all had negative growths. These are real growth rates, but India had a positive growth of about 4%. So India went up and it showed in our markets, right? Our markets were more buoyant, our markets were more safer than any other country. The next thing is inflation. What happened in the inflation part last year? Well, I'll write inflation here. Inflation is super high. The main reason for super high is crude oil. So crude oil went up, prices went up, and inflation went up. So inflation is super high, and the myth in inflation is that it's coming down. Yeah, again, it's because of the way of calculation. Let's say if you calculate inflation quarter on quarter, and let's say in Q1 the inflation went from, I'll take 100 rupees to keep calculations easier, let's say from 100 rupees something became 110 rupees, you will say that this is a 10% increase, right? So in percentage this would be around 10%. Now same thing, let's say in quarter 2 it went from 110 to 120. Now it should also be 10%, right? Because we're taking right from the 110 part, but here it will show as 5% inflation. Same thing you keep doing quarter 3, if 120 becomes 130, it will show maybe 2% inflation. So percentage number गिर रहा है, but क्या inflation गिर रहा है? The answer is again a big no. The inflation itself is not falling. It's in fact compounding. So don't just get happy looking at the percentage figure. Inflation is still very high. Don't think ki, some newspaper guy told you that inflation is going down. No, it's not really going down. For inflation to grow down, well, growth will have to speed up extensively. Yeah, so growth will have to keep going up. So inflation is not going down. And the one final thing that you want to take care of is the employment part, right? So the employment part, let's go up here. Well, again here, the myth in the market is that employment nahi hai. There is no employment. There are no people to look for in the work. If you go to hire people, you don't get people to hire. Well, that is wrong again. The myth in the media, the popular myth is completely wrong again. Employment has been very good. So I'll write this employment is actually going up. The salaries of working class people is actually going up. Now automatically this has created demand for us in the long run, and it's good, right? So you can see this demand everywhere. You can see this in cars, you can see this in FMCG products, you can even see it in weddings. So there are a lot of weddings happening this year, you can see that there as well. So those are only happening because the consumer income has gone up. So has employment really gone as down as people tell that it's gone down? No. But why do people talk about employment in a negative manner? The main problem is not with the salary class. The main problem is with the agrarian class or the farmers. Yeah. Because of what happened, it was very difficult for farmers to restart. Since they are not able to restart, well, these are the guys that have suffered the most. And these are the lowest strata of our society. Yeah, they face a lot of problems and there's no one to help them in their problems. And they don't even have enough capital to take care of their own problems. So how is this going to be managed, the restart of everything? This is a big problem. And this is not a problem that has been solved yet. Yeah, this is a problem that we are still tackling. So this is something that we want to look at. But overall, if someone says that employment has been going down, 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 well, that might not be correct on a macro scale. It might be correct when you take in one sector into account. Yeah. The next thing I want to talk about is very generic, very basic. It's the sectors and market. How did the market perform? Like I said at the very beginning, I don't want to be dishonest here. Well, in the last 1 year, markets have not performed. Yeah, markets have underperformed. They have, if you are a buy and hold investor, you have probably not made any money during the last year, just like I have not. Yeah, I have not made any money if I would have just kept it holding. Because I put more money in 2022, I ended up making good returns by the end of the year. If the price wouldn't have come at the end of the year, I wouldn't make money. I would be sitting in losses. So markets, super honestly, have not done well during the last year. But sectors, well, some of the good high-flying sectors are now out of the window. But some of the all Purana sectors, the old school sectors are now back. So which are the sectors that are out? Well, renewables have not done very well during the last year or so. The internet companies, yeah, the internet companies have not done well last year or so. And the biggest drawback was seen by the new age startups. So I'll write new startups here. Startups ke liye to it was one of the worst years. None of the IPOs, none of the startups, I'll write IPOs right here. These guys have done massively bad. They have not done anything good during the last year. So they are the biggest losers. But if you take a look at the winners, well, winners were companies which were in FMCG, metals, and the biggest surprise for me was real estate. Real estate companies have done really well, and the government companies, so I'll write PSUs. Yeah, PSU banks, some PSU companies as well, they have done very well. So this is how it has happened. It seems like all the new and the upcoming factors that we really liked, like the renewable company, internet company, startup company, these guys are not doing well. Unki hawa nahi chal rahi hai. They have really died down. And no one really wants to invest in these sort of companies again, right? People are very bearish related to this. But related to this again, all the old school companies, banks, FMCGs, metals, these guys are back in style. Now, if you see people talking about companies, well, one Tata Power will show up, one motor company will show up, one PSU bank will show up. Yeah, that is the old school companies that have existed for a long time. So you can see there's some kind of a cyclical shift that's happened in the behavior of market participants. Yeah. So this is about the sectors that were doing well and that are doing well right now and that are not doing well right now. Yeah. And the final thing is, well, the supply chain. Most people thought that the supply chain problem was very temporary, it will get over, but it has not got over so quickly. It is still happening. Now, why the supply chain matters? What happened? Well, COVID happened. COVID ke wajah se everything was stopped and the routes and everything was stopped. Yeah, no one was allowed to pass their goods and services from one state to another state, and that became a problem. But coming back from there, what was the biggest problem in supply chain? Well, the demand itself. If before, let's say pre-COVID, so I'll write pre-2020, so I'll write pre-20, before COVID, let's say people ordered 100 units of a product. What happened was that 2020 mein lockdown happened, and then post 20, so I'll write it 21 here, post 21 the lockdown opened up completely, and now that 100 units has suddenly become 300 units. And during this period, well, it was completely shut down. And now the entire supply chain had to plan for 300 units instead of just 100 units. And this created a big pressure on the supply chain. This is what they are still not able to manage. So this is what is creating the supply chain problem, and it is affecting everything. It is affecting internet companies because unko chips nahi mil rahe, because it is affecting auto companies because unko software chips nahi mil rahe. It is affecting all the FMCG market. It is affecting the edible oil market because oil is not coming on time, and this is needed for the entire country to run, right? Any kind of a processed food business is not able to run because they're not able to, reach the perfect place at the perfect time. So it is affecting all sorts of areas. Now, well, I have one question in the chat who is asking, pharma sector के बारे में कुछ बताओ. So what happened to the pharma sector? Well, pharma sector is very simply super connected to COVID. So pharma sector में, as soon as the COVID wave went away, for the first half of the year or so, we saw the pharma sector tumble down. Yeah, I'm not going to mince my words. We literally saw the pharma sector tumble down. But towards the year end again, we now have another COVID scare. So pharma sectors are doing well. But regardless of what happens with the price of the pharma sector, if you take a look at the earnings of the pharma sector are doing well. A lot of pharma companies are posting consistent earnings because they are not a major supplier in COVID-related medicines. Yeah, they are a major supplier of all different kinds of medicines, maybe heart conditions, maybe even cancer. So they seem to be doing very well. Of course, we had a lot of different problems in the pharma sector, problems related to quality, problems related to the supply chain operations and all those things. Those are getting solved slowly as well. So pharma sector is doing well on a macro level in the long term. In the short run, it's extremely volatile because as soon as COVID comes or there's some news of COVID, people push the stocks up. As soon as the news of COVID goes away, the pharma stocks come back falling down. So in the short term, it's काफी volatile, it's very volatile. But in the long run, it's doing well. The earnings are going up. And now the final thing, well, what's in the future for the supply chain? Well, this should be very good news because data shows that trucks, ships, yeah, so pardon my handwriting, yeah, trucks, ships, and especially the specialized trucks that you require. So I'll just write ICE trucks to make you understand better. It's the cold storage that is required. Yeah. Then you even have heated trucks so that cold does not get to your product. So you have heated trucks as well. All these sales have shot up during the last year. And because of this, you can see companies making these trucks, or I'll write auto and logistics. You will see companies related to these two sectors have done really well, especially the companies that have given in trucks, ships, even shipyards, right? There are companies related to shipyards in the index and not in the index, in the market, I'm so sorry. Yeah, so those shipyards have also done very well because the demand of ships, the demand of trucks have gone up. Now this might not be very good in the short run. This might not affect the short run economics, but it does affect the long run economics. In the long run, this is very good. This means that the data that the companies have got shows very promising demand for a long time, and that is why they are buying more trucks, that is why they're buying more ships. If the demand was only for a short time, they would not go and buy such expensive commodities, right? Because they're businessmen, they want to save on expenses. So this is very good for the long run. Yeah. So with this said, well, let's come back on the camera now. Well, I want to know from you guys, what was your year like? Yeah, I'll now just honestly tell you what my year was like in just 1 minute. Well, my year, I remember very clearly. My year started very well. In January and December time, I'll just erase all this also. During the last December, during the last January, I am somewhat of I don't know, I have this bad investing kind of a personality where I don't listen to anyone or anything if I've made up my mind. Yeah. So last December or January, I thought ki, what is going to happen? COVID ho gaya, nothing happened, right? Now what else could happen and why would the market even fall? But I was wrong. The market fell down. And when the market fell down, well, I was actually very happy. Every time the market has fallen, whenever I saw even 17,000 come in, even 16,000 come in, even 15,000 come in, I was supremely happy because I've bought in at all the levels. Yeah. Imagine my buying price is at around 18,000 rupees. Now if it comes down to even 17, 16, 15, I have kept buying because I have conviction that in the long term, nothing is going to spoil the party. Yeah, Indian economy has a long time to go, and the party cannot be spoiled just with a short term story. So I kept buying in. That's how my first half of the year went. The second half of the year has just gone in anticipation of the markets and just gone in anticipation ki market kab upar jayega. So I was very happy looking at the second half of the year because markets were going up and my investment portfolio came back in the green, and I was super happy with all of those things what happened. Now I want to know similarly, in one or two sentences, how your story went, how your journey went in 2022. Have you done very well? You know, some people have done excessively well in 2022. I know a couple of guys myself who have done very well in 2022. I know the other end of the spectrum as well. I know a couple of guys as well who have done very bad in 2022, and they are sitting on very massive drawdowns. And because they are experienced, they are waiting for the drawdowns to get over. They have not got out of the market. So I want to know how your journey has been during the last year. Now with this, well, let's just try predicting what happens in the next year. And here only I'm going to tell 99% chances that I'm going to be wrong. Maybe that 1% chance that I'm correct. So looking at everything that's happening, yeah, we talked about inflation, supply chain. The problems are still there. The problems haven't really gone away. So I think that the market might fall down or might stay and consolidate there only. So fall down or consolidate is what I think. But markets have surprised me whenever I've taken one decision. Markets have always gone against my decision as if reacting to my decision personally. And I am pretty sure that happens with you also, right? जब आप stock खरीदते हो, price गिर जाता है. आप stock बेचते हो, price ऊपर आ जाता है. So it happens like that. So what is the thing that I'm expecting? Well, because I expect that the markets might fall down a little bit, I'm going to take a contra call here. Because everyone is expecting that the markets are going to fall down, well, our expectation in general is going to be that the markets are going to come back again with a nice push and with a lot of investors coming to India. So this is what I feel next year hoga. Because everyone is slightly negative right now, suddenly positivity will kick in. And why am I saying this? Why is this thought in my head? Well, I'll give you one homework. Check out how the FIIs have contributed to Indian market this year. Not just FII, check out the FDI data as well. So I'll leave you with one homework to strengthen your analysis, to strengthen your beliefs in the market. Check out the FII inflows and outflows and the FDI inflows, outflows as well. And let me know that in the chat as well. Okay, so I can see two questions in the chat. Yeah, Jay is asking technical analysis नहीं होगा क्या आज? जय भाई technical analysis तो हो गया. शर्मा सर ने technical analysis किया है. आप ये खत्म होने दीजिए live और starting के 10 मिनट देख लीजिए. उसमें technical analysis हो गया है. That doesn't mean your stuff is boring. Don't mind. No, I don't mind at all. My stuff is boring. I do agree with that. This is all boring stuff. This is all old man stuff, all old school stuff, right? There is no thrill in it, and I don't intend to take markets as a thrill or entertainment. So I agree. It is all very boring, but it is useful in a way. So that is why we do this. So no offense, no problem. It is a little boring. I agree with you. Yeah, it's not for everyone. So technical analysis, you can check again. With that, well, let me know in the comments two things. One, your journey of how it has been in 2022 and what do you expect in 2023. And number two, find out the FII and FDI inflows and outflows for me and write them in the chat. And looking at them as a catalyst, what do you think will happen in the next year? So these two things you will do for me. Yeah, perfect. So with this, well, I thank everyone for joining me today and joining Sharma sir today at 6 p.m. And this is 30th of December. Everyone is in the party mood. Right outside the studio we are in, there is a cabin which has all our video editors, and they are already partying. They have switched on music and they have started the party mood in the office. So I hope all of you guys also have a nice party to go or something nice with your family and with your friends tomorrow planned. And I hope that all of you guys have a lot of fun. But yeah, have fun responsibly and take care, okay? Don't go overboard. And with this, well, I will meet you again next year. I just wanted to make that joke. I will meet you again next week next Friday at 6 p.m. again. And with that, Happy New Year, guys. Take care. And of course, continue investing and trading.